Are you a teacher, or do you have someone of a low income and you want to become a millionaire before retirement age? If you do, this video is for you. I'm going to share all the strategies. I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm 30 years old. As a teacher, I'm going to share all the tips. The first thing I always start with is income. How can you increase this? Yes, this doesn't mean you have to go be a cardiologist or go totally change the game. If you want to, you absolutely can. I know of a lot of people who have changed and gotten out of teaching and make more money. If that's your path, go for it. But if you love teaching and you just want to become a millionaire faster or have that freedom, that peace, or retire a tiny bit early and start your own projects on the side, then you want to think about this. You want to think about, what county can I go to? What state can I go to? Where is there a certain school that's paying more? I know I did this for me. I make 90% more by just moving a county over. We got pay raises that already made $20,000 to $30,000 more just by moving 15 minutes away. Like, that's nuts. That's crazy. And so take advantage of those opportunities. Also, if you can get a master's degree, if you can get more education, that is going to help you as well. So in our county, we make $6,000 more a year, maybe a little bit more than that, if you have a master's degree. If you have a doctorate, you make a little over $10,000 more every single year for having a doctorate degree. And in counties surrounding us, it's like you make $10,000 if you have your master's degree more every single year. And I don't know the numbers on the doctorate, but I think it's like 15,000 or more. And so if you want to be an administrator one day, or a lot of these counties also, they want you to have the master's degree because they pay more. And so they want more educated teachers. And so it's a win-win for everyone. You're more likely to get hired. You're also going to be more knowledgeable and can help your students even more. And then you're going to be compensated for it and you're going to make more. It's worth that. You don't have to go to a fancy school, regardless of where you went for your undergrad, to get your additional education. I know I went online and it was $18,000 to $20,000, maybe $22,000 for my master's degree. And I made that back in 4 years or so. And so if you're going to be teaching for a long time, think about what that initial investment is. You're going to make your money back as long as you don't spend thousands and thousands and thousands on that master's degree. I would also ask if you can leverage a skill or leverage your current skill for teaching. So if you are a great teacher, which I assume you are, and you love teaching, how can you leverage it? I'm going on YouTube. There's been opportunities that have opened up by doing this. I also have partnered with some of my friends. They own this business and they're content creators, and I'm going to be working with them. They work in a different field, but I'm helping them out with some of these financial tips and becoming a millionaire and making more money and knowing what to do, because I've done so many hours and so much research on this. I've started with everything from just getting out of debt, from budgeting, from investing, to actually becoming a millionaire in less than 10 years, to buying assets, investing in yourself, like so much. And so because I have a specialized skill or specialized knowledge, and I have other opportunities, I found other opportunities where I can make more, and I can still teach and pour into kids and students, because that is what I truly care about. I mentioned I was a software engineer, and don't worry, I didn't make that much money because it was an entry-level position and it was an opportunity. I didn't have an undergraduate degree in engineering. There were just a few options that I had, and I decided to try it, but I didn't get to really work with people. I love serving and helping people. And I try to tell myself, like, if you're behind the desk, like, the work that I'm doing is going to impact people, but I just love actually connecting one-on-one with people and helping them in their lives. So this is something for you, something to consider. In order to leverage that skill, and leverage simply is, how can you maximize it? How can you maximize the full potential of something? And so, right, even if you're already a teacher, you already have the degree, you already have everything going for you, and you leverage your opportunity by going to a different county, or you teach online, or you tutor, or you start your own business. That is another thing you can do, is to start a business, start selling something. I know so many teachers who have side hustles and they sell, and they're okay with that. A lot of teachers, they coach and they do those things, which is great, because we want great coaches and teachers. that is where our kids are. I have a stepson and a son, and I want them to be taken care of and to be in great hands, right? And so we need these great teachers and coaches, but they don't pay as much in certain counties. And so if you want to go start a side hustle with Etsy, with social media, with finding other partnerships, with selling your curriculum or your content, or maybe you're really good at something specific in teaching, and or there's something about you as a teacher, ask yourself, is there something that someone's commented on with you specifically as a teacher? Is there a way to capitalize on that, or to go be a tutor and get paid extra for that? Like, what do you have? What gifts do you have? What interests do you have? And what would you be willing to do to make more money? This is so important to know, and being able to maximize and take it into your own hands is because no one else is going to live your life for you, right? And so that's where I realized, like, I could just stay here and I could keep my $43,000, $46,000 a year job, or I could go where the money is. I could go where I could help people. I could say, hey, you know what? I know a lot. There's some people who are doing content and they're sharing their journey as a teacher, or sharing what they're doing in the classroom as an elementary school teacher, and they're sharing their strategies and their techniques. There's someone starting a language business. There's someone who is selling on Etsy or selling their curriculum. There's someone who, like, there's so many endless opportunities. Why not you? Why not you? And if it takes you away from the classroom and that's not what you want, I have other options for you. But I'm just saying, you have a lot of power, and teachers have so much knowledge and skill and passion, and we're not always compensated for it, but there's a world of opportunity for you if you're willing to look at it and if it is something you feel called to. Okay, this is not one to bank on, but it is a serious thing. Maybe who you marry is going to make a great income, or even just having someone who makes another income can definitely help you with your budgeting, with being able to have extra money to invest, etc. And so this is not what I suggest. This is not what I do. Let me go find a rich husband and he will take care of everything. Like, that is not necessarily my path. But for you, what do you want? And maybe you have no idea who you'll fall in love with or who you'll choose to be with. And so that can really help too, to be able to have a little bit of extra money. And if you keep working, you get to keep pouring into kids and helping them grow and helping them learn. I've seen so many people just who are successful and who are living their lives, they always mention a couple of teachers that really changed their lives, or really believed in them, or really made their experience more positive. And so you matter, and you're making a difference if you have someone who's able to support you, or a spouse, or if you have that side hustle money or something. It can just give you a lot more peace to keep doing what you're doing. All right, I'm going to share one tip on how we're going to be millionaires sooner, and it's literally being so extremely frugal. It's increasing that income, but we've lived and scrimped and saved, and I've barely bought like lots of things for years and years and years. I don't necessarily advocate for this. I've been perfectly happy overall and have been fine, and I don't need a lot of stuff, and we've been supported, and we've gotten hand-me-downs, or we get help, or parents will get gift cards or things, and we do live by family, so we don't have to pay for daycare. So I definitely recognize those benefits or privileges or blessings. But just know that if you really want that financial peace and freedom, is it worth it to go move further out? Is it worth it to live with family for a little bit? Is it worth it to have roommates? Is it worth it to create a budget and figure out where you actually want to spend money, and then to cut a lot of it and start deploying it into income producing assets? Like, is it worth saving for a shorter period of time? Hopefully we all get to live these long, healthy lives. And so if I'm going to live to 80 to 90, I know we can't guarantee this, but spending 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 years living a certain lifestyle or a certain way so that you can be free sooner and so that you can have the money, is that worth the sacrifice? And so I'm a huge advocate for earning more money and learning how to earn more money, or in that nature. But I do know that your spending habits and saving habits and investing habits make a huge difference. And I want to throw that option out there, because maybe you are willing to go, you know what? I actually don't want this thing. It's an extra $200 that we have, and an extra $200 can make a huge difference. So let's actually look at this really quick. What if we invested $200 in the stock market? I'm going to be talking about that as well because this is key to be able to make more money. But investing $200 a month for 30 years, 40 years, and 50 years. Look at this, $200 a month. And look at how much money you have. What happens if it's $500? What if you can save $500? And invest it. And this is with a stock or an index fund or ETF that will return about 10% over time. And there are actually stocks or specific index funds and ETFs that have historically averaged this return. And so that's what I invest in because number one, Warren Buffett, who is the world's best investor, he recommends this for average people. And he actually challenged someone to try to beat the market or pick their own stocks and try to beat the S&P. And they couldn't. He gave them 10 years and they didn't. And so I just stick with that because I know it works. Yes, I might not get a 50% return average, but you are getting those 30%, 50% returns even in 2024. Right now, it's at 30, 40%. It'll go down sometimes, and that's why the average, we know with test scores, there's students that get 100s, there's students that get 25s, 50s, 80s, and so the average is what we will take, but that is what you get. And so $500 a month, look at that, millions of dollars, millions. And so if you want to stay in teaching, and if you're able to put more money in sooner, or that's where if you're able to cut back or increase your income, and then instead of using that to increase your lifestyle, you go ahead and put that money into the stock market and make it grow, then you will have plenty of money and you'll have it sooner. So more ways to make more income is by coaching. You can tutor, you can do any of those things at your school. I also make more money at my school by some of the duties and the things I do during school. You can also become an admin. Maybe you want to be an administrator. That's not the path for everyone. I know a lot of teachers, that is not what they want to do. But if that is something you're interested in, you could even get your master's degree if you don't have that yet in administration. You will still get paid more as a teacher. And then until you become an admin, once you're an admin, then you will make more. And so maybe that's your path too. There's so many options if we're willing to look and if we're willing to get a little creative. So I want to show you about investing. Investing is critical, and actually have an ebook coming out that has 150 pages or more. It tells you every single thing you need to know. It tells you how to invest. Why do we invest? How does your money work? What are dividends? What are ETFs? What stocks to pick? How do I open a brokerage account? How do I buy a stock? What are the common pitfalls and the mistakes people make? So it has everything. If you're interested in it, it is an investment in yourself, but it's 100% worth it. And you will, if you have at least $200, $300 a month to invest, you will become a millionaire in your lifetime. So it's totally worth it. Feel free to check it out, and feel free to subscribe for more if you want as well. Let's look if you invested $500 a month starting when you're 22. So if you just start and you are 22, maybe you live with your parents for a little bit, you're able to put extra money aside into the stock market and you invest for 50 years. Okay, look at how much money you have. Now let's look if you waited till you're 30, so that's an 8-year difference, and let's look at how much money you would have. And so you see there's a difference here. Now, I don't want to freak you out if you're 40 or if you're 30, it doesn't matter. I was a big saver, and I started saving since I was 11, 12 years old, my babysitting, my different businesses, like any jobs that I had and birthday money, I would save it. I didn't invest it. I didn't start investing. I started investing when I started working at 22. But that's just with the 401k. But seriously, I didn't start investing until like 26, maybe 27, but I think 26. And so I could have had a ton of years because I started saving. I saved $20,000 by the time I was 18. If I would have invested that would have been huge. So the best time to plant a tree, that Chinese proverb says, is 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So the better you start now, the sooner you start, you will be able to start that compounding and get it working. And if you're curious as to how that works, I'm going to have a video on how to invest for beginners. And then also that ebook will walk you through everything. There's a lot of other ways you can invest in real estate. You can learn more about financial education and work on those financial habits, partnering up with people, starting the businesses, whatever you feel called to do. But you can do it if you decide and if you get creative. Find what works best for you. I'm happy to share more if you're interested. Feel free to check out this video on how I specifically am becoming a millionaire as a 30-year-old teacher. I hope it helps.